Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Pete's CD and Vinyl World. Today, I just wanted to thank everyone for helping me reach 100 subscribers. Actually, my son was the one the other day who's the one who mentioned to me like I almost had 100 subscribers. So I just want to thank everybody for watching my videos. When I started doing these videos, I didn't really know exactly which direction I wanted to go in with these. At first, I was probably going to talk about worst to best by bands, top 10 lists, and just do current music news and my thoughts on what's going on in the music world, concert reviews, things like that. Then obviously all of a sudden COVID happened and sort of nothing's really been going on in the music world for 2.5 months besides like those Zoom live things that bands are doing nowadays. So my attention turned more towards like the vinyl stuff. But either way, it's cool. I think I'm gonna go more in the direction of like some of the videos I've done in the past, like Give It Another Spin, albums that are overlooked, things like that. But it's fun still doing all the vinyl tag stuff, and still have some worst to best to do that type of thing. So I wanted to thank a couple people, some shout outs to just a few people that seem to have supported my channel from the beginning. Brian from Vintage Audiophile, Rachel the Music Ma'am, Chris Profi, Musically Obsessed, and Randy Deadwax66, and also a couple of metal guys, Ron Haggerty and Dylan from the Record Spinner. So thanks to those guys. And so just some observations. It seems like everyone in the vinyl community is really nice and, supports each other no matter what we're talking about. But, I think it's kind of funny. I wish some people would be like giving me more shit about stuff like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. That album's not better than that album, or that band sucks. What do you? I got a little bit of that in the beginning, but that seemed to die off. So I think it'd be, and not just me, just everybody throughout the VCs, everybody just give more honest opinion. Like not everyone can like everything. And it's funny, I think Mazzy had a video last week with Eric Weinberger, I believe, where at the end, for whatever reason, Eric showed Ted Nugent Weekend Warriors, I believe. And Mazzy was like, "Oh, I fucking hate that guy," which, whether or not, I like Ted Nugent, but I just thought it was cool that Mazzy said he hated him because I think there's a lot of artists I really don't like that are very popular in the VC, but I don't really say it. But I think we should all just actually give our opinions more about. It's a little too much kumbaya around. Anyway, maybe being from Jersey, I'm more like confrontational. I don't know. But anything, the one thing I've noticed too is no every walk of life. There's no lack of hate for Kiss, and it's even alive in the VC. So that just cracks me up. There are a couple guys that are Kiss fans. I know Chris Profi is, and Dylan is also. But to me, it's something I've been dealing with since I can remember back in grade school. Even my friends back in middle school, we were all metalheads, and we all liked the same bands: Iron Maiden, Metallica, Van Halen, Led Zeppelin, whoever. But none of them liked Kiss except me. I think I had like one older friend that was into them. So it just cracks me up that even no matter where you go, what walk of life, the hatred for Kiss is just everywhere. But anyway, I went to do a vinyl tag. I'm not going to do a contest. I figured going on that theme of Kiss, give me 5, 10, either songs or artists, guilty pleasures. So first of all, like what's a guilty pleasure? So the Beatles are not a guilty pleasure. They're a great band. Guilty pleasure is basically like an artist or group that most people that are really into music think is like just throwaway music or pop music for teeny boppers or whatever. So like, Justin Bieber, New Kids on the Block, you could even say Kiss is a guilty pleasure. So bands or artists that just aren't highly regarded for their music. So either give me 5, 10 songs or artists. So I'll go with mine. So first couple of mine are like more in the metal genre, because there's, along with Kiss, there really isn't a lot of metal love in the VC. I know Ron Haggerty sort of got like one of the best metal collections on vinyl I've seen. But I'm gonna go with my number 5 is Winger. So probably the poster boys for everything that's hated about hair metal. But believe it or not, the members of Winger are actually all pretty good musicians. In fact, Rod Morgenstein is the drummer for the Dixie Dregs, sort of that jazz fusion progressive instrumental band with Steve Morse in it. I love this album, their first album. There are other. I have their second and third album as well. They're pretty good, but this album is really good. But yeah, guilty pleasure for me. Next up, Lita Ford. Kind of gets a short end of the stick as far as respect. Her and Joan Jett both came from the Runaways. I think Joan Jett got a lot more respect because she went into the punk and straight ahead rock and roll genre, whereas Lita Ford went really in the hard rock, hair metal direction. But I still think she's a talented songwriter and great guitar player and a pretty good singer as well. But I've always liked her. I'm a huge Joan Jett fan, but I do like Lita Ford too. So there's my second guilty pleasure. Third band, representing sort of that cheesy corporate rock, Survivor. Now, I'm not a huge Survivor fan, but this album in particular has a lot of hits, and it's really great. They're sort of, like I said, corporate cheesy rock. Epitomize the 80s. Next one, a guy who I think doesn't get enough recognition as he deserves. He sort of became an MTV star, but much more talented than that. Billy Squier. I really don't know what happened with Billy Squier. I know they say that one video he made, Rock Me Tonight, was sort of the end of his career, but he did have a pretty decent career towards the end of the 80s. He put out a couple albums in the early 90s and then just faded into oblivion. Kind of feel like what happened to him is the same thing that happened sort of to Peter Frampton. Was a huge MTV star, and I guess maybe his teenage audience got older, but he really is a talented songwriter, singer. Not sure if this is a guilty pleasure, but maybe in the VC standard he'd be a guilty pleasure. And finally, last but not least, you'd be surprised by this one, Weird Al Yankovic. So, you guys might be thinking, that guy who does the parodies of all the pop songs? Yeah, well, a lot of people, if they don't know Weird Al, yes, he does all those parodies of, he did a lot of the Michael Jackson songs, and even into the 90s he had some hits. But half of his songs are actually original songs done in the style of other artists. And that's where I think his greatest stuff is. And if you listen throughout his career, those albums, he's really got a really sick and dark, twisted sense of humor. And I appreciate that. He's also had the same band pretty much for his whole career. And really, he's had a 38, 39-year career. Longer than most of the artists he's done parodies of. I don't have his last couple, but I think this is the last one I own from him. By this point, because most of the popular music out is pop and R&B, he's gone in that direction. So I haven't got his last ones, but this album has a great tribute to Frank Zappa called Genius in France. It's, I think, like a 12, 13-minute song of all the cliched Frank Zappa musical passages and vocal lines, things like that. So if you're a Frank Zappa fan, please listen to Genius in France. Other than that, there you have it. Thanks again for all the subscribers and all the guys in the VC. So if you like these videos, please subscribe. And I'll talk to you later. Thanks.